It's the money. It's the money, it's the money, it's the money, yeah. It's the money, it's the money, it's the money, yeah. It's the money. Money. It's the money. 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 It's the money, it's the money, it's the money, yeah. It's the money, it's the money, it's the money, yeah. It's the money. Money. It's the money, it's the money, it's the money, yeah. It's the money, it's the money, it's the money, yeah. It's the money. Money.
What up, family? So we're gonna give it a couple more minutes. Let everybody jump on in. Hope everybody's great on this good old Sunday. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? What's up? How do I say that? 𝐷𝐿𝐒? Hope I said it right. Hope I said it right. Oh, okay. Cool. That's a cool name. 𝐷𝐿𝐒. Gotcha. So, gotcha. All right, Miss Lakeisha. How you doing? Hope everything worked out with that lead. Hope everything worked out. I'm gonna be sending out some more leads too, and I'm actually coming out with something that's gonna be really nice for the community. So anybody that's watching tonight or that will be watching in the future, you definitely want to get into the community. But I'm definitely taking care of my day ones. Miss Lakeisha, she was one of my day ones. So yep. What up, big dog? I seen that load you had. That was a nice load, man. How heavy was it? Looked like it could have had some good weight on it. Right? Dynamic force. How heavy was that load, bro? That you had? I saw it. Excuse me. All right. So tonight we're gonna be going over part 2 of basically how to get this money in 2025, doing specialized freight, right? Just a couple ground rules for the live tonight is that any comments or Q&A or anything like that, make sure to stay on topic. Always understand that we only talk about specialized freight, open deck freight. That's it. I try my best not to answer questions or even dibble and dabble in stuff like dry van, reefer, or anything like that. That's just not what we do, and that's not what we talk about, right? Trying to help. My goal is to help as many owner operators as I can, or up and coming owner operators I can, to get into the open deck, specifically specialized freight industry, so they can get up and running and they can make them some money, have them some fun, even start them some good YouTube channels, and also help logistic managers, right? I kind of like that title better than dispatchers, right? Because they have so many people using the dispatcher name, and I believe that by they've had so many people using that, now it has some type of like negative connotation on it. So I like to say logistics manager, right? Just specialized logistics manager. Just sounds a little better than me, right? But freight dispatchers, brokers, but more to the freight dispatchers and everything, because there is money to be made on both sides. If you have a truck, there's money to be made. If you don't have a truck, there's money to be made. A lot of it, trust me. They have a lot of women out there that want to work from home, especially if they have kids and they want to work from home. Maybe they want to homeschool their kids. A lot of brothers as well, right? I actually went through this myself personally. So I'm speaking from experience, right? Want to work from home, needing to work from home, having my kids and stuff like that. So I want to help them as well. And I'm going to be needing to hire a couple dispatchers / specialized freight logistics managers as well, right? So I definitely want to help these people get into the game and make this money. So all of this information don't just look at if you are a dispatcher or logistics manager, whatever. It's not just for owner operators. This same information, you can take this information and offer this information to your owner operators, and you can help them. You can counsel them. You can advise them. You can coach them, right? So y'all listen up to. All right. So I haven't actually I do, let me put this on the screen. Sorry about that. So I haven't yet. Jimmy Jazz said, have you launched your dispatch course yet? So, little surprise, I haven't. I kind of thought about it, and um I was thinking about I basically changed how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna basically charge a little bit to nothing. I was so close to just giving it all away in a group, but I have something very special for everyone, and how I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be, pennies on a dollar, and I'm gonna launch it out and gamify it in the school group and stuff like that. So now I just have to. I'm basically finished the actual course, but I have to kind of finish how I'm gonna like release it and gamify it to make sure we have some good engagement in the group and stuff like that. Because if you kind of just give stuff away, people don't really appreciate it. So and then I need a lot of feedback too. Need people to like actually give me feedback and join and go through it for me to make it better, right? Because if I don't know what people what they need help with, I can't help them. So it's almost there. Just it's almost there, and it's gonna be real nice. And I know they're gonna have a lot of haters, a lot of people on YouTube that's gonna be mad because I've done that. But oh well, it is what it is. I get a lot of comments. Y'all will be surprised, man, how many people they comment on my videos, or they kind of, I had a guy one time was like, "Oh man, you're wrong for that. You got people getting in the game and they think they can make this money and they're gonna fail," and whatever, man, whatever. Because I give the game out. But that's what I'm here for. It is what it is. All right. So yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited too, so let's get into it before we get into it. So yeah, man. So it was 40. That load was 45,000 pounds. I was dragging the ground. I couldn't take it. I need a higher fifth wheel. Man, next time put that in the group, bro. Maybe that, just maybe that wasn't the problem. Just maybe that wasn't the issue. But we'll get into that towards the end with the live Q&A. Make sure you bring that back up, and if I remember, I'll get we'll talk about that, because that might have not, 45,000 is not heavy at all. At all. But we'll talk about it. So let's get into the show. So once again, just some ground rules. Please keep the comments and the conversations and the questions to specifically to specialized freight. I will answer any questions. Try to keep it on topic to what we're talking about tonight up first. But if you got any, outside of the topic towards the end of the Q&A, I'll be glad to answer it. But please don't ask about dry vans, reefers, or anything like that. That's not what we talk about. That's not what we do here. We are in the specialized niche. All right. So we're going to pick up where we left off as last week. I believe we left off with just, we went over having the right, first making a decision that you're going to get into this. We're going to go over the recap. First, you got to make a decision that this is the lane that you're going to be in. You're going to come into the specialized, the open deck for one, and you're going to go specialized. So if you're going to be on the owner operator side, or you're going to be the dispatcher, right? And you're going to be in this niche. You have to make a decision, right? Because this is going to be different from everything else, okay? And then, you have to have your right mindset. Got to, have the right mindset, and stay positive and stay focused, right? Have to be disciplined. We went over that. Make sure you're reading your books, you're studying, you're taking your online courses. Maybe you get you some consultations from people like myself or other people. Join a coaching program. That's good as well. Make sure you have a budget so you can start your business, whether it's a owner operator business or your dispatching company, right? And go specialize, right? Niche down, okay? Especially for you freight dispatchers out there. You definitely want to niche down. Do not, this is one of the things that I always saw on like Facebook groups or whatever. They always would, make a post, and they would make a post about, hey, I specialize in, and when they say that, it'll say reefer, drive-in, hot shot, flatbed. Well, that's not specialized. You're doing everything. So you always want to niche down and specialize in that one thing, study that one thing, learn that one thing, right? So now tonight we're gonna go deeper into the getting your equipment, right? Actually, how you're gonna get your equipment, how you're gonna like actually get in the game, right? Everybody's situation's different. So how are you gonna do that? Well, and I thought about this because when I, you know, first got in the game, I don't know for you who watch my videos, if you know my story. When I bought my first truck was like $4,000, I believe. I can't really remember, so long ago. And I gave the guy like 2 grand up front. I had just got out of jail, and it was basically all the money I had in the shoebox. And I gave it to him. And I got about 3 miles up the road, if that, and the truck, basically the motor just locked up. And that was a horrible experience, very emotional. Uh, the woman I was with at the time, I was very young. I was about 19 years old. The woman I was with, she was screaming, hollering. She was mad. She was like, I can't believe you spent our last on this or whatever, whatever. But I was just trying to come up. I was trying to like not, drive trucks for the people. And I just wanted to make more money. I wanted more freedom. I wanted to start my own business and become a um owner operator, right? And that was hard. And that was basically our bill money. I'm just being honest. I was young and I wanted it so bad, man. Like I wanted it so bad. I wanted to start my company so bad. I wanted to be an owner operator. I kind of, a part of that I wanted to be more respected in, my woman's eyes or whatever. I just had a baby and it was a lot of stuff going on. And I took the money. I didn't care. I said, look, I'm going to get me a truck. And I did. It didn't work out too well, but here I am today, right? And I went through a lot of ups and downs with purchasing equipment. And some was good, some was bad. I've bought trucks cash. I've paid, I've done financing. I've done lease purchase. I've done rentals. I've done straight lease, right? Um, no owner finance. I don't remember. And I guess kind of on a finance, like I bought trucks from people that, so I guess that is on a finance. I gave him deposit and paid weekly. Then he gave me the truck and I kept paying on it. So I've done a couple of different things, right? So these are some ways that you can actually get, like your first truck or even grow your fleet, right? Um, you can finance for sure. But one of the ways that I really want to talk about tonight is really think about lease purchase or leasing a truck or basically like rental. That's one of the easiest ways to jump in the game, right? And a lot of people look over it, right? Because they're on YouTube or they're on Facebook and they're looking at all these stories and all these people putting out this negative energy about leasing equipment or like doing a lease purchase or lease operator model. But that model does work. And to me, y'all gonna hear this a lot in my videos because you got to think about it, man. You're not putting up no money. You're not using your credit. If it all fails, it's not on you, right? So even if they do take a big portion of the percent of it, Well, I mean, in my opinion, that's only fair because they're taking most or all of the, not all, because you're driving a truck, right? And it's your CDLs, but they're taking a lot of risks, right? The engine go out, you're just gonna probably, most likely, most drivers do, they're gonna just skip out and go to the next company. So, um, in my opinion, that's a very, very great way to start out and to start making more money, start learning the business side, and like get your first truck. But you can buy your first truck cash or finance it, right? Now, with that being said, what about the trailer? Well, once again, in my opinion, the easiest, best way is to rent slash lease a trailer, and either you can go straight to a company and rent or lease, right? Or you can lease on, meaning take your truck, you lease the truck on to another owner operator or a carrier, right? Or a bigger company, smaller company, it doesn't matter. And they might have trailers to offer, right? Or you can say, hey, you know, whatever, you can make a deal. Whatever this trailer costs, you can go to a rental company like TNT trailers or something like that. That's where we rent our trailers from. And you can say whatever the money is down, you can make a deal with the carrier and say, hey, look, I know this trailer is going to cost this much or that much. Whatever I make, maybe you can start out with a flatbed or something, right? Or whatever trailer they have. And you say, hey, look, can you take this money every week or whatever? And then you can go get this trailer for me. It's like $3,000 down or $4,000 down, whatever it is, right? We're not going to get too much into numbers, but they can take the money and they can invest in this trailer and they'll get the trailer for you, right? Or just lease on to a company that already has trailers ready to go, right? And that'll help you get all of your chains, your binders, your straps, your everything that you're done, like everything that you need, because you're gonna need a good bit of equipment that's gonna cost a good bit of money, right? So that brings me to segue into my next thing, which is which is a very, very important decision that you need to make, right? We're gonna spend some time on this. Are you gonna lease on with your truck, or are you gonna be an owner operator, right? Like, meaning, because a lot of people say, I'm sorry, when I say owner operator, meaning, are you gonna lease on to a company or are you gonna have your own authority, right? Or you're gonna file for your authority and you're gonna run your own authority, right? Or will you lease on to a company that has an authority, right? That's two different things. Some people, you know, rather lease on versus run their own authority. Now, these are some questions you have to ask yourself before you make that decision. The number one question you have to ask is, do you actually want to do the work to run your own authority? Like everything that comes with it. Do you want to keep up with all the paperwork? Do you want to keep up, with everything with FMCSA, with DOT, everything that's involved in that? Do you want to, um, book your own loads? Do you want to keep track of all your paperwork, keep track of the maintenance? Like, do you really want to? And when I say keep track of that, not in the sense of like, do you want to keep track of it for yourself? No, I'm talking about you have to do this for DOT wise, right? Do you want to do all of this, right? Do you want to fill out all your carrier packets? Do you want to be responsible and take on all of the risk? Because if you're the owner, all right, you have to take on all of the risks. Okay. Do you want to do that? All right. And the second thing you got to ask yourself is this: do you have the funds? Can you cash flow that? Right. Being a owner operator on your own and having your own authority can be a little stressful sometimes, but it can be very, very lucrative too, right? Like the risk is very, very high, but the reward is very, very high as well, right? So, do you actually want to take that much risk, or do you want to share that risk with someone for a fee, right? Um, because yes, you can share you can get a dispatcher or logistics manager to do the paperwork and do your carry packets and find your loads for you and stuff like that, even if you do have your own authority, but they don't have any risks, right? All of the risk is still on you. So when you lease on, most of the time they're going to have a dispatcher for you. They're going to have someone for you to basically do everything. They're going to let you know when to um, renew your plates, do your IFTA, do your all your permits, um, find your loads, do your carrier packets, right? Make all the phone calls, all this stuff, right? They will handle all that, right? And most of the time, wherever you lease on to, they're going to do all of that. And all you really have to do is drive and just keep up with your equipment, right? So are you one of those drivers? Do you not want to deal with the headache of all that? Well, if that's the case, guess what you have to do? You have to give up a part of, the money, right? You're going to have to pay a fee for that, right? BD Buster said they'll take 20 to 30% usually. Um, Typically, I'm finding somewhere in that on average 15 to 25. um 30 would be a little high, right? I'm not saying to don't pay 30%, because like I said, we take on operators as well, but 30 can be a little, they should be offering a lot for 30%. 30% is kind of, so I don't know what they're offering, maybe I don't know what the whole agreement is, right? The whole deal. Like, what are you actually getting? Are you paying a percentage and you're paying insurance and for trailers? And it just depends on how does it look. I don't really know how it look, but you know 30% could be a little high, or maybe it could not be. I'm finding out over the years of doing this, 15 to 25 is kind of reasonable. You know what I mean? But once again, you're going to have to think about that. Do you actually want to do these things or not? And if you don't want to do these things, guess what? Well, pay someone. So lease on, right? Um, and what type of trucks do you need? I get this question all the time. A lot of people think that they need to get into the heavy haul on specialized, oversized uh niche market, right? They need these special four axle double rail, all these kind of trucks, and you don't, especially when you're first starting out. Like, you do not need these type of trucks. A regular Freightliner, international, you know um Kentworth, Peterbilt, whatever. You don't need these special trucks. You get your regular truck, nice truck, decent miles on it for a decent price, and go to work. Right now, you don't want a cheap truck. You don't want a truck with a little bitty motor in it, like a little C12 or something like that. You want something a little bigger. Um, you want a regular uh size truck that's going to no difference than like your regular truck that you run over the road, right? And you want to use that. Um, what type of trailer should you start off with? Even if you're a dispatcher, y'all listen up too now. What type of trailer should you start off with, right? If you're on operator, or if you're a dispatcher and you're trying to niche down and you're trying to get great at what you do, so you can actually provide value to the owner operator, right? Because that's one of the things that dispatchers are struggling with. because they really can't provide good value, enough value to the owner operator to where the owner operator keeps them rolling or whatever like that. I'm gonna make a video or go live and specifically talk to my dispatchers, right? Because they're kind of, I'm seeing some things where they're messing up at, and if they fix a couple things, they would be great and they can make some good amount of money, a lot of money. But what should you start off with? I think the best trailer to start off with is a step deck. If you can get it, yes, you can start off with a flatbed, but in my opinion, try to start off with a step deck first, right? If you can start off with a step deck with ramps, you're doing good. All right. Yes, the RGN, everybody wants the RGN, but let me tell you something. The step deck is on renting wise, is going to be half the price, right? Sometimes purchasing too. It's going to be half the price per month. Excuse me. And if you have ramps, you can do almost the same amount of money as a standard RGN, which is a tandem axle, which is 29 in a well. All right. You can almost make the same amount of money weekly, monthly, however you want to add it up, and or make more if you know what you're doing. And if you learn, whether you're an operator or freight dispatcher, if you learn how to really get good and make good money with and dispatching the step deck with ramps, you're gonna be very good with the RGN, right? Because if you're an operator, you're dispatching yourself, or you're freight dispatching, you're dispatching on operator, you're learning how to put these loads together. You're learning the width, the length, how much you got, on the bottom versus the top, what type of equipment, stuff like that. You when it comes time to actually getting with the RGN, right, the low boy, stuff like that, you will be a lot better. All right. And you're gonna learn a lot. So when you do get to the RGN, things are gonna get very, very smooth, right? Now, another thing, uh, when you get this equipment, whether it's a step deck or RGN, either one, I wouldn't, if you're starting out, I wouldn't start out with more than two axles. The reason why is when you're dealing with weight, things can get, you're kind of getting more in the advanced territory. And right now, what we want to do is we really just want to learn the equipment. We just want to start hauling, learn the equipment with legal loads, and then learn equipment with just oversized loads, not really dealing with overweight loads. That's you're kind of going into a little bit different territory with that, with different states and dealing with different fines and tickets and having to move the load front to back and how to load it so the weight can be on certain axles versus other axles. And if you're over on your axles, now you can catch this ticket. In certain states like Mississippi, if you catch a ticket for overweight, you have to pay it right then and there, or you can't leave. I think Oklahoma, Arkansas is the same way. So, and some other states. So you kind of might just, stay away from that a little bit, if you can, and just stick to, like, work your way up, oversized loads, width and length. Not even too much with the height, because height loads can be very dangerous, right? And you have to learn your routes and learn how to really pull height loads. The reason why it could be very dangerous because you have power lines, you have bridges, overpass, like a lot of stuff, and you can hit some stuff very quickly, right? And if you're freight dispatch out there, one of the things that how you can get um clients, and one of the best values that you can give an owner operator as a freight dispatcher is this: if you actually learn not only to book the loads, but learn routing, like learning the laws in different states. So when you see a load, you already know, okay, Florida, I think Florida's like 14, 6, 7, or whatever it is, 50, whatever it is. I can't remember the top of my head because I'm just not in that zone right now. They're different. And anything above that, you're going to need a height pole, right? So you might come from Texas going over to Florida, but for every state, Texas, you didn't need it. Louisiana, you didn't need it. Mississippi, you didn't need it. Alabama, you didn't need it. But when you go into Florida, you need it, right? So you know that. So you already know, especially if it's going like Miami. So if you're starting in Pensacola and then working your way all the way down to Miami, that's about, I don't know, maybe 500 miles or something like that. Well, if you got to pay a height pole to go that far, right? Um, especially going to Miami, that's probably going to be an extra $1,000 or whatever. Let's just say if you do $2,000 and you got to do overnight, and then in Florida, so that's another overnight, you got to pay another $100, and then in Florida, between, I think it's like, you can't start running the oversized during the week until after 9 a.m. and between 4 and 6 in the evening, you can't run it either. So all of this is going to push the load back, and it can be a situation. But if you're a freight dispatcher and you learn this and you know about this, you can fire off a quote like that to the broker, and you can explain that to them, right? And justify why you want to charge that. Or if you're an operator and you're talking to a broker, you can explain that to them and you can justify that. Guess what? Now they'll give you the load. And then think about it. Now that you took the time and you explained it to them, you probably educated the broker. So now they're gonna be like, man, thank you for that. Like brokers tell me all the time, man, I thank you for explaining that to me, right? Not only that, they're gonna look at you like, man, you really took your time and you studied, you learned, right? I don't have my book here, but they have this book over. Let me see if I can pull it up because I want everybody needs to. If you're gonna get in this game, you need to get this book. All right. Let me pull it up and see if I can pull up this book. You can get it off of Amazon. And you definitely need this. The new one should be coming out soon. The new one should be coming out soon. But this is the book. Okay. This is the book. Any and everyone, it doesn't matter if you're a dispatcher or an owner operator or whatever. Shout out to I think how you pronounce it is Wade or Wide 100. He's on Instagram. I think he's on YouTube too, but he's just not. I don't think he posts that much content. I was watching one of his Instagram videos one time, and he was talking about this book. So guess what I did? I got the book. I'm talking about as soon as I seen him on Instagram and he said something about the book, guess what? I got the book. Like I got it. I said, oh, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm going to get the book. This has mostly everything that you need in it. And yeah, so you need this book. All right. So definitely get that book. Now, so that's that from owner operators with the equipment. And that's going to be some other things you need as well. I'm going to put a lot of this in the community. Once again, if you're not in the trucking to cash flow community, it is, as of right now, it is free, totally free. I will be starting a charge, but it's not going to be much of anything, to be honest with you, in my opinion. You definitely want to get in the community. I'm going to start releasing courses soon. We're going to start having some, I guess for right now, I'm going to keep it on YouTube. I'm going to just keep it open to YouTube because I got a lot of people that, need to learn this stuff. And get this information, right? But definitely the link is in the description. Definitely join the community, post your questions. Uh, I'm always, every day I check it once or twice a day. I try to answer everything that we have. Um, so definitely do that, right? Let's see if we have some questions in the chat. Okay. Let's see what we got. And we're going to answer them. Pitt Freight Company, please share your experience with hauling aircraft parts. I am currently reaching out to AOG logistics managers, part managers for Delta, Southwest, etc. Also, would you recommend a 35-ton jet trailer? That's a good niche, man. That's what's up right there. I know they're gonna pay some good money. Wow. Um, I used to haul aircraft materials years ago. It was on step decks and flatbeds. We used to haul them up to like the Chicago area, Wisconsin area. Um, so when you say would I recommend a 35 ton? I mean, a 35 ton is a great trailer. Um, Now 35 ton, always remember whenever they talk about tons, it's double. So that's um 70,000 pounds, right? 60, yeah, yeah, 70. So that'll be 70,000 pounds that the trailer should be able to hold, but that doesn't mean the truck and the trailer combination, if it's only 2 axles on a trailer and 3 on a truck, that you're actually going to be able to put that on that trailer. Reason being, because legally, going into different states, they're only going to allow you to put certain amount of weight on 5 axles. All right. That's a reason why you definitely need that book. So definitely get that book. It's going to give you the baseline, of per state, what I'm going to share something else. What weights you can haul um per axle and how many axles you need for a certain amount of weight. Everybody needs this as well. All right? Everybody needs this as well. I'm going to share my screen. Everybody needs this. This is a good website to get the free resources, oversized.io. You definitely want to get this website. You go to free resources, okay? And you can see what type of pilot, if you need a pilot car, escort, it'll give you the regulations by states. It's a very, very good website. Very good website. Acts of regulations, trip view, if the oversized, all this stuff, right? I use this. I don't really use it anymore because I basically memorized it, and we only run in the South right here, these states over to here. So I don't really use it. But if I get like a super load or something crazy that I kind of don't know or remember, then I'll use this website. Now, I do have a paid subscription, right? I don't know what the prices is, but you can go on your own time and see. But you can actually run a load, right? And when I'm gonna log in, you can type in, and when you put everything in, it'll populate a actual quote. It'll tell you how much you're probably gonna spend on permits, how how many escorts you need, how much the permits is gonna cost, all this different type of stuff. I'm not gonna go deep into this tonight, but definitely check it out. It'll give you some free, maybe like 5 free quotes, so you can go and play with it. But they're gonna charge you, and it's not too cheap either. So that's why I gave the book, because the book, once you paid like $20 for the book, you got the book. This here, you got to pay every month over and over and over again, which is good. And if you're booking loads, you don't really have time to, if you're looking at a load on the load board, you don't have time to come here, type everything in, see what it says, come up with your price, and then call a broker. You don't have time for that. You need to know what you're doing before you even call a broker. But once you do this and you play with this and you learn this and you do this over and over and over again, then you will learn, right? And you're going to remember it, right? And when you remember it, you're going to get better. So this is a good resource. I use it myself, but I mainly use this for super loads, right? So whenever y'all see my videos and it's like, like I had a load one time, it was like overall like 16 and 6 tall or whatever, and it was in Louisiana. Well, anything over 15, 10, kind of sort of 16 foot is kind of basically like a super load, right? And it was like 16 wide or something like that. So I used this just to kind of help me with certain things, right? But yeah, so you definitely want to check that out. What else we got? A1A. Yeah, you almost missed the live. What's up, boss? What up, dude? BD Buster, bro, I have 2 trucks pulling intermodal out of Green Bay. Gotcha. Man, get into the specialized, man. Because I think when you say intermodal, you're talking about probably containers, right? Jump on over to the specialized, man, the open deck. It's a lot. I'm doing it right now. Gotcha. Also said they'll take up to 20 to 30% usually. Yeah, we went over that. Once again, I'm gonna say it again. Definitely 15 to 25 is reasonable. 15 to 25, especially right now in these times right now. But once again, I don't know what they're offering, so I don't want to, really get too deep into that. But 30 could be a little, I could be a little tight, man. Be a little tight, All right. BD Buster says, how do you feel about freight prices moving forward with the election, or do you think it'll even affect anything? I definitely believe that having Trump in will affect a whole lot. When are we actually gonna see a change? I don't know that, but we're definitely gonna see a change. Will it dip first, then come up? Will it just start climbing up? My prediction is gonna get a little chaotic first, right? Whether it dips or the chaos might cause a dip. The chaos might cause for it to ramp up. I don't really know, but it's gonna get a little crazy first, maybe a little, maybe a lot, because you're gonna have a little friction between everybody, right? Especially with the tariffs and everything. And you gotta kind of realize when it comes down to specialized freight, it's a little different because we don't really depend so much. I'm not saying at all, but we don't depend as much as freight coming in as like dry vans and reefers and stuff like that. That's not really too much what we're doing, in a sense, right? We do, but not as much as like dry vans and other, the commodities that we haul. It's a different, we're kind of in a different game. Now, I will say this, the oil field is going to start moving up, and it's going to start actually having some action, right? So with that being said, trucks are going to start going. They're going to start kind of coming out of general freight, start going into that market. And they also have specialized in the oil field too. because when you're doing a rig move, well, you have a bunch of oversized parts to move. When you have the equipment to move, you have the rig to move, you got a lot of stuff to move with the rig or the haul back and forth or whatever. So that's in the specialized lane too, right? So as that go up, we're gonna go up. A lot of people kind of complaining about, Trump kind of cutting the new green deal or whatever he's doing with that. So that's kind of like what they call wind, with the doing like the solar, the solar project or whatever. So that might take a dip or should take a dip, but I believe we're gonna be good. And I think that I truly believe this is not wishful thinking. I really truly believe from experience that winter is almost over. The season of winter is almost over. And when it's over, whoever's in the right position, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be real good, right? So get in the game if you're not already in the game, and get in position. A1 says, I think ATS has a bad percentage in lease pay, but do you think it's a good way to work your way to heavy haul? Yes. If you're just getting in the game, definitely. ATS is not one of the best when it comes down to pay, but you will learn and it's going to look good on your resume, because you got to remember, even if you are an operator, when you go to lease on somewhere, they're going to check your driving history. So you still need to get the experience, right? So if you're just starting out, definitely the pay's not too good. I think you're probably going to make about, 800-900 to like 1,500 a week. You're going to do a lot of dropping hooks, but it's definitely a good way to learn and get in the game, right? Because what you're going to learn, what they're going to teach you, you're going to have it forever, right? The money they're going to pay you, you're only going to need to do it about a year, if that. The money they're going to give you within a year or 2 years, if it's that long, you're not going to have that. You're going to spend it. That's going to be gone. But the experience that you're going to have and that you're going to learn is so valuable. And you can take that and have that forever. No one's going to ever be able to take that from you, ever. So learn as much as you can. Get as much experience you can. It is very, very, very valuable. Very valuable. All right. Ms. Lakeisha says, what are some good ways for a freight dispatcher to find these owner operators / drivers in this niche? That's a good question. Specifically in this niche is this. I actually have a video on how to cold call owner operators. Now, when you go on this website, I can't remember the name of this website. Let's see if I can pull it up. I think it's this is it right here. No, that's not it. I have a give me a minute. Let me see if I can. I have a video on my YouTube channel on how I cold call carriers. Okay. And I go over how to cold call them. Let's see, because I want to. Okay, here it goes. Let's show my screen. All right. This video right here, how I cold call carriers as a freight dispatcher. It's an old video, older, but go check it out. And you definitely want to watch that video. But when you watch that, I go into deep detail, and if I don't, which I believe I do, um, I'll make a video about it because it's not like a simple answer to that. Um, it's not too simple. So I'll actually make a video about that, Lakeisha, and I'll either put it on YouTube or I'll put it in the group. All right, I got you. I got you. But the number one thing is what you want to do is you want to actually have some like value to bring to them, right? If you don't know what you're doing, and this goes for anyone who wants to be a freight dispatcher for specialized freight. If you actually, when I say don't know what you're doing, meaning if you're coming from general freight, but you're getting into the specialized freight, you really don't know how to book permits, you really don't know how to like bid on the loads. Guess what? The number one thing that you can do, and a lot of people not gonna like what I'm about to say now. People not gonna like this, but you need to tell them, hey, when you call them, however you're reaching out to them, right? Which is probably gonna be cold calling. You need to tell them and make a deal with them. I will work for you for free. All right. I will work for you for free. Period. Because you need to get on the phone and learn how to talk to brokers. You need to learn how to build on loads. You need to learn how to get permits. You need to learn. All right. That's going to be on the job training. All right. Some carriers are going to be willing to do that. You work for them for free and you tell them, hey, whatever, like I know how to do carrot packets. I know how to, like, I will sit and stalk and watch the load board all day for you, right? And I will do it for free, right? Just tell me what you're looking for and I will go find a load, right? I will cold call, tell them you'll cold call direct shippers for them, right? For them to get loads, right? Tell them that you're going to do whatever it takes to be able to work for them, but tell them you're going to do it for free. And after a couple of weeks of doing that, a month of doing that, 2 months, however long it takes for you to learn and start learning, and you actually providing value, number one, ask them to do a review, get them on camera, let's say a review, like basically like leaving a review, right? Get a testimonial, saying how good your services was, right? And also then you can change it up and say, hey, look, now I want to charge whatever my percent is, right? And you can take the review video and you can take the testimonial and then you can use it for content and put it wherever you need to put it and run your funnels and put on your social media and your YouTube. And one of the best ways that in my opinion, that I believe that dispatchers need to be doing is they need to actually be creating content to help an owner operator, give them some type of value, like go study, the laws with FMCSA, go study, make videos about updating them with the CDLs and updating them about, certain things, or, they just had this storm, right? This big blizzard that they had, the snowstorm that they just had a week ago, right? Freight dispatchers, if I was a freight dispatcher starting out and I was struggling to really get carriers, whatever, I would have, and I didn't really know as much as I wanted to know in a specialized niche or whatever, I'd have made videos about, what roads was closed down, right? Or where the storm is actually. I probably would have tracked it. Number one, it would have been a trending topic. So people was going to watch that. They would have watched that video, right? They would have clicked on it. Number two, you're building awareness, right? And you're going to build an audience, right? And then at some point, when you putting this content out, you like Gary V says, give, and then ask. It's kind of like a, punch, jab, or however he says it. It's like you give, and then you ask. It's like, okay, now you put 5 videos or 10 videos out there, right? And you say, hey, by the way, if you need some help with, getting some loads or whatever, however your pitch is, hey, hit the link below or give me a call, text this number, whatever, I'll be glad to help. Bam. right? So I believe creating content is the best way to do that, in my opinion. Even if you're an operator, right? Because some owner operators, they don't know that they can create content, right? Like I create content here, and this is a gym. If you're an operator, especially if you're under your own authority, especially if you're on your own authority, this is a gym. What I'm about to give you, I do this right now. Y'all see it on YouTube. I create content. This is not just for y'all, right? Guess what? Whenever I reach out to a direct shipper, guess what I do? I give them my YouTube channel. Think about it. So now they see the videos. You know what they say? Man, he actually knows what he's doing. Yeah, I do. I'm actually safe. I'm actually doing this. I'm actually making money doing this, right? I'm not charging too high, right? Do you want your freight to be safe? Do you, I actually have the experience, right? They're gonna go, especially if it's someone who resonates with me when I reach out to that procurement manager or logistics manager, whatever, and I send that email, and I might drop a link in the email to my YouTube channel or whatever like that. Just to, I might say something in the email that might say, hey, check out my YouTube channel to put a face with the name or whatever like that, right? And then they come look at my YouTube channel. It's like, oh wow, he actually does do this for real. This is not just someone who's like new or just getting in the game or whatever. So for you owner operators, even if you're not even in a specialized niche right now, and maybe you're you just got a flatbed or something, start creating content. I can go on and on why, which I'm gonna actually make a video on why on operators definitely need to create content. Like, you definitely need to do it. Definitely need to do it. So many reasons why. And I'm like just doing this. If I would have knew this years ago when I first started, think about it. I've been doing this for years. I'm 37, and I've been legally driving trucks since I was 19. I bought my first truck at 19. Just think about, I don't even know if YouTube was out at the time. I don't know. I don't know when it came out. But what if I would have been creating content way back then? Yeah, my business would be really big, right? Would have had a big audience, big business. I probably would be making money just from YouTube, right? So definitely, you know, make some content, right? What we got next? The real Jeezy Fours. Okay. Big bro, I want to ask, is buying my first truck at 500,000 miles a good idea? That's a great idea. That's good mileage. That's real good mileage. How much you paying? What kind of, go ahead, put in the chat how much, what kind of truck is it and how much you paying for it, right? Pit Freight Company. Are step deck Conestogas worth the price to own? Aerospace shippers seem to value them for transportation. I'm not too fond of the Conestogas, man, whether it's a flatbed or a step deck. But if you have a customer or customers that will value it and they're going to keep you running, I would get it, right? If they're going to pay for it, right? But I don't too much care for the Conestogas. I've ran some, and it's hard to load them. The real reason why I don't like them is because you can't do oversized with them. Whether it's a step deck or a flatbed, you can't do oversized with them. And they actually have Conestoga low boys like double drops too. I don't like them because I can't do no oversized with them at all. So for me, no. But for you, if you're gonna have direct clients that's gonna pay that money, then it would probably be good to get it. All right. Pit Freight Company. So I dedicated to outreach to medical equipment manufacturer and aerospace companies for direct contract freight. 2022 53-foot step deck Conestoga with ramps. Okay. Yeah, man. See, that might be good, bro. Seriously. That might be you might be on to something, man. You might be on to something. Seriously. And that's more of a specific niche. The more you, especially in the beginning, I was taught. This is what I was taught. Anything uh under $3 million in revenue, right? Maybe even 10 million, but I was taught that until you get to that $1 to $3 million revenue range, you should stay niche down. You should not go wide at all. You should niche down, stick to one thing, specialize in it, learn everything you can learn, become the best that you can become great, become, the go-to person in that niche. And once you do that, once you do that, then you start going wider, right? Now that might take a year, that might take 10 years, right? I'm actually, with that being said, I actually started, which I like it. I learned this from Myron Golden, which is someone that everybody should check out. Maybe you like him, maybe you don't. But one of the things he said is that don't set goals. And that could be like, what do you mean don't set goals? Everybody should set goals. Maybe, because when you set goals, you put a timeline on whatever this thing is that you do. And if you just when you have objectives, right? It's like, hey, look, I'm going to open a trucking company. I'm going to become my own operator, right? Well, just whatever it takes to become an own operator, just only focus on that and just do that. Don't set a goal. I'm going to become my own operator in 6 months or 8 months or whatever. Because kind of what happens is when it don't happen in 6 months, now you feel like you failed, it didn't work, now you're upset, now you whatever, and you're kind of racing against this timeline. It's like, I got to beat the timeline. I got to beat the timeline. I got to beat the timeline. And a lot of people give up because they don't make the timeline, and they feel like because they didn't do it in a certain amount of time, or they didn't make the timeline, they feel like they failed. Most entrepreneurs do that, right? And when I learned that and that clicked for me and I stopped doing it, I said, okay, I'm not going to put a timeline on it, right? Because the Most High is the only one that can put a timeline on anything, right? That's not up to me when it's going to happen. So like I have objectives and I've said, hey, look, I'm going to do X, Y, Z in my life, right? In my company or whatever it is. And with that being said, guess what? I'm only, once I do that, it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Now I reverse engineer. It's like, well, what are the things, the outputs that I have to do to accomplish this thing, right? If I want to start my authority, well, what do I have to do for me? Because it's going to look different for everybody. All right. What do I have to do to start my authority? Now, they're going to have some basic things to do, right? Yes, you got to get insurance. Yes, you got to file your paperwork. Yes, you got to come up with a name and get your LLC. That's basic stuff. But for you, you might need to get some credit cards because you don't have cash in the bank. Well, me, I might have cash in the bank and credit cards, right? You might have you might have credit cards or good credit, and you can get a loan to start your authority and buy your first truck and trailer, whatever. Well, me, I might have to fix my credit, right? I might not have no credit. I might have to fix my credit. So during the time that I might have to fix my credit, I might have to go do a lease purchase, right? And I'm saying this because I've done this, right? Like I'm telling you, this is from real experience. So now, you might look at the next person, it's like, oh man, they got the authority, they rolling, they making their money. Well, y'all situations are different, right? So they was able to get up in their first year, but you didn't. But that don't mean you failed. That don't mean you're not gonna get yours. You just got to do something different. So I'm a big fan of not putting a timeline on it. Don't do that. In my opinion, right? Do what you want to do, but I don't do that anymore. I don't do the timelines. I just make a decision. I decide, meaning I cut off every other thing, right? I don't, once I decide I'm going to do something, that's it, right? I'm going that route. I'm not going backwards. I'm not, it's like, hey, I'm going to start my trucking company. All right. Well, that's it. I'm not going to go do real estate. Those of you that know my story, I did that before and I did real estate. I did some other stuff and I shouldn't. Not that I didn't make money, because I did make money and I had it was a learning experience, but I just shouldn't have did that. So yeah, make the decision, move forward, go with that, roll with that, and don't put a timeline on it, please, if you don't have to. All right. The real Jeezy says KW T680, 54,000, I believe 54,000 or 540,000. I believe it was part of a fleet. Well, how much was it? How much they want? Oh, did you say how much it was earlier? No, you didn't. Yeah, how much was the truck? And was it 54,000 miles or 550,000 miles? And what year was it? All right. Gabe or Gabby, I think it's Gabe. Forgive me if I say it wrong. I'm sorry about that. And Kyrie, what's your thoughts on lease purchase companies, or do you believe on saving up? Definitely watch this video again. I went on a whole rant about lease purchase companies. I always do, but I love them. A good one though. A good one. A good one. In my opinion, because you got to remember, I've been doing this over 20 years, going on 21 or 22 years, whatever it is now. And when I first started out, they was not letting you do the lease purchase. That wasn't a thing. And the ones that they did, this was like back in the day with Celadon and stuff like that. You had to put money down, and it was like $5,000 minimum. And you couldn't take this truck nowhere else. So you was locked in with putting $5,000 down or however much it was. And you had to stay with that company. Like, it was a totally different deal. Now you can actually get with good companies now. A good one. I'm not talking about the bad ones. Get with a good lease purchase company. Get with them. Make your money. Start your LLC. Build your business. Get that cash flow coming into the bank. Build your credit up. Save your money. Get in position. Now you're making more money. You got better credit. Now that you have better credit and you actually pulling this money into the account when you go to buy a truck or trailer or get a loan or whatever it is that you want to do, guess what? You can use these taxes that you've been making all of this money with, right? Even if you spent a lot on truck notes and trailer notes and maintenance and whatever, don't matter. When you trucking is different, go watch the interview that I have with the accountant. She's gonna talk about that, right? Let me share my screen on that. I have a video. She gave some very, very good game. Very good game. But this video right here, you definitely want to watch this video right here, right? She helped me out a lot. All right. She helped me out a whole lot. Like, she helped me out a whole lot. Definitely want to watch this video. Okay. So, because when you having those, when you have some decent credit, ain't even got to be good credit. When you got some decent credit and you got them good taxes, you can, listen, you can do a lot. Full disclosure, this is not financial advice. This is we're just having a conversation and for educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence, and I am not a tax specialist. So that being said, yeah. What's next? Who we got? How you feel about getting equipment through lease purchase route? Just answer that one over that. The real Jesus says, and I appreciate the bones you throwing out for sure, man. I appreciate y'all watching. All right. Appreciate y'all watching. So with that being said, if nobody has any more questions, I'm gonna give a couple minutes, right? Just a couple. Not many at all. All right. If that's it, we're gonna sign off. Yeah, so look, everybody make sure to join the private school group. All right. And in this, I want to ask a question. In this video, in the comments, go on ahead and let me know some other topics that you might want to talk about. I think I'm gonna go on ahead and make this an official day and time to go live and talk about things. Maybe jump off into like the relationships with truck drivers and just different things, right? Give me some ideas, right? Want to kind of make this like an actual live show every Sunday, an actual podcast, get people on that what we got. Chicago's very own. The link for the group didn't work. Can you check it? Let's see here. I will edit it, but I'm going to drop it in the chat as well. Okay. I'm going to drop it in the chat as well so you can have it. And I'll double check it in the actual video. Hit that link. Let me know if it's worked. Let me know if it works, my man. And I'm gonna check it as soon as we get off this live and see what's going on with it. But yeah, so leave me some comments. Let me know if y'all want to talk about some different things. Now I got a lot of stuff I would like to talk about, but I'm not gonna talk about it unless y'all want to talk about it and y'all want to enjoy, the things. I'm here for y'all. So if you like the live, I will be back next Sunday, 5 p.m. as well. Once again, join the private, free as of now, school group. And if you liked it, make sure you like the video. Help my analytics out. I thank all of y'all for showing up. I really appreciate y'all. And until next time, I will see y'all on the next live or in the next video.
It's the money, it's the money, it's the money, yeah. It's the money.